Happy June, everybody. Cecilia here. Welcome in, welcome. Grab all your cozy things. We'll do a little bit of a flow today. But I figured we'll start a little bit differently. So instead of ending with gratitude, we'll take a moment to start with some gratitude and then carry that gratitude with us throughout our practice. So you can grab a blanket. If you have blocks, you can grab your blocks, your mat, whatever you need to be comfy as we start out our day. And I'm going to be seated today, right now. If you want to grab a chair for this part, feel free. But as you continue to settle into your space, just starting to notice maybe what you see, maybe noticing the corners of your space. Maybe you've got a nice window you can look out, or start to notice the sounds within your space, the sounds outside of your space. Just noticing what you hear. For me, I hear the little patter of my puppy's feet down the hall. Maybe when they're older, I'll invite them in and y'all can see them. For now, they're a little wild. And then if you'd like, as you continue to settle in, you can soften your gaze here, close your eyes. Once again, noticing the sounds within your space or outside of your space. Allowing yourself to notice how you feel in this moment. And then bringing your awareness to your breath. Just noticing what you notice. Noticing how your breath feels for you in this moment. If it's helpful for you, you can place one hand over your heart and one hand over your abdomen here. Or just allow your hands to be comfortable. And if you'd like, taking a nice big inhale in through the nose. And exhale, side out. Inhale in. And exhale, side out. One more inhale in. And exhale, side out. And you can keep your eyes closed here if you'd like. Sitting up nice and tall through the spine. Like the crown of your head is reaching towards the sky. We're going to inhale in. And as you exhale, allow your chin to come down towards your chest. Any amount here. And if it feels safe to do so, maybe some half head rolls here. Allowing one ear to come to one shoulder, back through the middle, and the other ear towards the other shoulder. Continuing to breathe. And then when you're even on both sides, allowing your chin to come down towards your chest. Then carefully, intentionally lifting your chin, coming back up to that nice, long, tall posture. And then let's start to roll our shoulders back, bringing them up towards your ears, and then allowing those shoulder blades to glide down your back. And then pausing, and let's go the other way, lifting the shoulders up, rounding forward. And pausing here. Let's take a moment and roll out your wrists, rolling in one direction. Mine are very talkative today, apparently. And then rolling the other way. Bringing your hands down, pausing here for a moment. Let's take an inhale in and exhale, side out. Bringing your hands down towards your sides, we're going to turn the palms facing up, reach the arms up towards each other, and then exhale, allowing the hands to come back down. Inhale, reaching the arms up, and exhale down. If it feels good as you raise your arms, you can also lift your gaze or even just the eyes and exhale down. Inhaling the arms up one more time, a little bit of a shift this time, bending at the elbows, allowing those arms to glide down. Inhale, one arm up. This is the left arm for me. And my right hand down on the mat. And a nice little bend towards the side here. Any amount. If it feels better, you can look down towards your hand that's on the ground here. And then coming back through the center. Other side. Inhaling that arm up. And reach. As you breathe here, bringing length to the side of the body. And then inhaling both arms up again, I'm going to grab my left wrist with my right hand and just gently reach and pull here. And arms up, let's switch. Gently reach and pull. Release that down, roll the shoulders out, back, and then forward. And then a couple options here. You can cross your arms at your calves or your knees, or if it's better to hug yourself. Either way, kind of take note of which arm is on top, because we're going to do both sides here. So either way, just a little moment to round out the shoulders. Option to stay here or allow your chin to come down towards your chest. Carefully lift your chin if you took that option. Once again, taking note of which arm is on top so that when you uncross, you can do the opposite. More often than not, it might feel a little weird because it's usually the side you don't cross with. So if it feels weird, you're probably doing it right. But if it's too weird, feel free to go back the other way. Once again, option to have your hands at your shins, maybe cross a little further up at the knees, or even just give yourself a nice little hug here. And if you'd like, allowing your chin to come down towards your chest. Continuing to breathe here. And carefully lifting your chin, uncrossing. And then let's take a moment to feed the chickens. A little bit of a twist here. Engaging your core here to protect the spine and the low back. Being mindful of how you feel today. So maybe not turning as far, or maybe going a little slower. And then coming back to the center, giving yourself a moment of pause here to reorient. And if you'd like, let's take a nice big inhale in. And exhale, side out. Taking a moment to check in, see how your body is feeling, seeing how that gratitude is flowing for you as we do our flow. Let's take another big inhale in. And exhale, side out. Take a moment, if you have your legs crossed like me, or even if you're seated in your chair, to extend your legs out for a moment. You can keep a little bend here, or allow your legs to straighten all the way out. It's allowing your knees to get a little bit of a break here. If you want to extend that into your hip flexors and you're on the ground like me, bring your hands either back or side, just allowing the hip flexors to have a little bit of space here. Everyone can wiggle the legs. Maybe wiggle your toes a little bit. And then carefully walk back up. And then you can, if you're in your chair, bring your feet back flat, or let's see, I can cross. I don't remember which way I had crossed. Neither way feels the best. So You can come back to a crossed position here. I'm just going to do a seated cat-cow. So sitting up nice and tall through your spine. If you're seated in your chair, making sure you're pressing through all four corners of your feet. So behind the big toe, the little toe, and both sides of the heel. And let's inhale, allowing the belly to fill. And then as you exhale, allowing your belly button to come in towards the spine, tucking the chin, rounding through the back. And inhale, chin can lift, and exhale, rounding. I'll turn sideways a bit as we do this, just so you can see what it looks like, which is going to be a little different for everyone, but inhaling, and exhale, round. Inhale, and exhale, around. Option to stay with me here, or if you need to go at your own pace, that's also fine. Just making sure that you're focusing on the inhale and the exhale as you move. Couple more here. Coming back to the center, we're just going to do some circles, circling around. So kind of adding that cat-cow together. Inhaling and exhaling, finding your rhythm. Pausing here in the center, and then going the other direction. Still inhaling and exhaling. And pausing here in the center. So roll our shoulders up and back, and up and back, and then forward. And if you're on the ground like me, let's swing our legs around. Coming into a tabletop here. Decide for yourself if you want to uncurl the toes or keep them curled here. I'm going to keep mine curled for now, but spreading your fingertips out wide so that you're not dumping into your shoulders here. Eyes of the elbows are forward, knees in line with the hips. Taking a moment to identify your right foot, and you're going to extend your right foot out. If you're in your chair, you can extend your right leg forward here and flex through the ankle. So if you're on the ground like me, you're going to press through those toes. So everyone should be getting a bit of a calf stretch here, or maybe in the ankle. Breathing. bringing that leg back in, pausing for a moment, and then other side, stepping the other foot back. Or if you're in your chair, stepping that other foot forward, leg straight, flexing through that ankle. And bringing that knee back in. Curling the toes under. If you are seated in your chair, take a moment to stand. An option to either stand behind your chair or come to a wall. If you're on the ground like me, you are going to curl those toes under. Start to lift the knees, shift the hips back into a down dog. And everyone can pedal their feet out here. So if you're standing behind your chair, just lifting one heel and then the other, or you can go to the wall and be at more of an angle and pedal your feet out. Then pausing here at the middle when you're even on both sides. And then, if you're on the ground like me, we're just going to walk our feet towards our hands. If you're at your chair, you can fold, or if you're at your wall, you can step back and fold, or do like a half fold, and nice bend in the knees. Carefully coming up. And we're all standing together. I'll grab my chair so I can deal with some of this with the chair. So, if you have your chair, you place it in front of you. And we are just going to bring our feet wide. So whether you have your chair or not, bring the feet wide, all of your toes face forward. And we're just going to bend side to side. So you can do this without the chair, or if you want to hold on to your wall over here. Just side to side. We're snapping and crackling and popping today. Oh man. So you may feel this in your inner thighs, maybe a bit in your hips. Just do what feels best for you today. One more here. And then going back to the middle, soft bend in the knees. I'm going to turn my right toes towards the wall, and my left toes are facing forward. And I'm going to turn over my middle toes here. Now, if you have your chair, if you want to keep your hand here, you can. And then, if you don't have your chair, bringing your arms up here. And bring the arms down. Carefully straighten that leg. And then we're going to bend and straighten. And bend and straighten. Carefully turning those toes forward. And then we'll do the other foot. So this foot, I'm turning my left foot towards the wall. keeping my right toes pointing towards you guys. So for me, this side, I have to really make sure that I don't shift my hips back, that I sit up nice and tall. So if you want to hang onto your chair here, you can. Bend that knee. Sitting up nice and tall. If you don't have your chair, you want to bring your arms up, you can, and then look over those fingers. Or maybe you start off with having the chair helping you for balance, and then bring your arms up. Doing what feels best for this side. And breathe. And then bringing those hands down, you can bring your hand back to your chair if you'd like. We're going to straighten that leg. Then we're going to bend, straighten, and bend. Straighten, and bend. And then carefully bringing those toes back forward. You can hold on to your chair here if you'd like. Heel toe. Those feet back in, or step them in. Take a moment. Bring your heels up towards your glutes here. And I'm going to put my chair away for now. But if you'd like to keep your chair for this part, feel free to have a seat. We're just going to go into some twists. So if you want to sit in your chair, sitting nice and tall, both feet flat on the ground. If you're standing here with me today, I'm going to bring both of my feet together. Bring my hands to my hips. And then whether you're seated in your chair or standing, if you can, just looking down, noticing what you notice with your feet, seeing if you are favoring one side over the other. I have a tendency to sit sort of like this, so sometimes I feel myself trying to do that, even standing like here. It's like my weight wants to shift to that one side. If you need a little bit more gap today because you're like, that's a no, my balance is just needs a little help and support today, you can bring your feet a little wider too. But for me today, I'm just going to zip my feet up, lift all my toes, spread them out onto the mat. And then bringing my hands to my heart, either across or here, and I'm just going to turn ever so slightly to the right. And then notice what you notice. Notice how your spine feels here. Notice if your knees tried to go with you. Just noticing. If you're seated in your chair, noticing if your knees try to also track, because even seated, sometimes our whole body wants to turn. And then coming back through the center, and then turning the other way. And back to the center. Take a moment, shake that out. And then we're going to come back to where we were. So back towards the center. If you're in your chair, also back towards the center. Bringing our hands back to our hearts. Or at the hips if that's better. Now this time, when we do this, focusing on keeping your knees facing forward here. So that may mean that you don't twist as far. Yes, I know we want to go so far sometimes, but focus on what you're feeling in your body this time. Keeping those knees facing forward so that you can feel what it feels like when your knees also want to start to turn. And sometimes when our knees also want to start to turn is when they start to bend more, and you'll get one knee for the 4 than the other. So keeping our knees in line, standing up nice and tall. Our weight is evenly between the big toe, the little toe, and the heel. Shoulders are back and down. Inhale and exhale, twist to one side. Focusing on keeping those knees forward. You should almost probably feel like you're a rag being wrung out. This is the best way I can describe it. Oh, little puppies are whining. Sorry. They keep going back and forth. Which is funny because my husband is home. Apparently he's the spirit human today. Sorry, guys. Inhale back towards the center. And exhale to the other side. They'll survive with them. It's okay. And coming back towards the center. Take a moment, shake that out. Let's feed the chickens here. This time you can have a nice bend in the knees. So many pops today. Oh my goodness. Checking back in. Seeing how that gratitude's working for you today. I guess for me, it's making this a funny practice. Oh, shake that out. And let's work our way back down to the ground. So, few options today, depending on how your body's feeling. You can just safely get to the ground however you can. Otherwise, if you'd like to, coming towards the top of your mat, you can have your feet together. Sometimes I just like to do big toes to touch. Or you can have a little bit of a gap here, inhaling both arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Bring in as much bend in your knees as you need. Inhale to flat back. And exhale down. And you're going to step back either into tabletop or to plank. You can come into plank from your tabletop if you'd like. And let's breathe here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lowering those knees down, coming back into your tabletop. Bring the knees wide, big toes to touch if you're down here on the ground like I am. Start to shift your hips back and forward and back and forward. If you're seated in your chair, you can do a seated cat-cow here. And then, option to take a child's pose here. If you're seated in your chair, option to do like a forward fold in your chair. And breathe. Carefully coming up. We're going to come through a seat onto our backs here. You're seated in your chair. You can stay in your chair, feet flat on the ground. Take a moment to adjust your clothing or your hair. My bun's in the way, but that's okay. Bring your hands down to your sides here. If you're seated in your chair, you can hold on to the sides. Allowing yourself a moment to orient here. And then just windshield wiper. You can do this in your chair as well. Side to side. Checking in, seeing how that feels in your body today. More pops. Continuing to inhale and exhale as you move here. Once again, checking in, seeing how that gratitude is resonating with you today. In this moment. And then finding the center, pausing here. And then seeing what a resting posture looks like for you today. So I invite you to take the next 10 or so breaths to explore. Maybe grab the cozy things. Maybe you want to bring your legs down, palms up into like a, more traditional Shavasana. Maybe you want to curl up on your side. If you want to come out of your chair, if that's doable for you today. But deciding for yourself what a resting posture looks like. And as you get comfy into your resting posture, I'm going to sit up so that I can just be present for you as you rest. Taking just a few more breaths to get settled in. And this is your gentle reminder that this is a resting posture. So if at any time it does not feel restful, allow yourself the chance to move and find something that is more restful for you. And as you continue to settle into your resting posture, maybe it'll be helpful to do just like we did in the beginning, noticing your space. Maybe noticing the corners in your space, your ceiling. Noticing the sounds inside your space and outside of your space. And then soften your gaze or close your eyes. Taking a moment to notice the sounds in your space and outside of your space with your eyes closed. Noticing if you are holding your shoulders up towards your ears or away from the mat, and allowing your shoulders to be heavy. Bringing space between the upper jaw and the lower jaw so that you're not clenching your teeth and that you can find softness in your face and then into your neck and the back of your neck. Poor whiny little puppy. And then as you continue to rest, let's take a nice big inhale in and exhale, sigh it out. bringing your attention once again to the gratitude that you started your practice out with today. Noticing how your body feels. Noticing if it made a difference. Generally, we do our gratitude at the very end, but see how it felt for you to carry that gratitude throughout your practice. And then as you continue to rest, just allowing that gratitude to continue to flow through. Take a nice big inhale in and exhale side out. And then just allowing yourself to be and breathe. Knowing that you are in the space that you're supposed to be in, that you are here doing what you are supposed to do. If you have thoughts that randomly come in, you can acknowledge them, and then on your next inhale and exhale, allow them to float away. And let's take a few more breaths here. But know that if you would like to stay in your resting posture a little longer, you do always have that option. But if you'd like to close your practice with me today, starting to bring your awareness to your fingers and toes, maybe giving them a nice little wiggle. Maybe a nice stretch overhead. And if you're on the ground, carefully rolling onto one side. And then coming into your seated posture. And wherever you landed, whether you're in your chair or on the ground here, let's inhale both arms up. And exhale them down. Inhale both arms up. Bringing your fingertips towards each other. And then bringing your hands down, pausing here at your forehead. This is your gentle reminder to think positive thoughts about yourself. Pausing here at your mouth to remind yourself to speak positively about yourself, to yourself and others. And then pausing here at your heart reminding you to send yourself the same grace, love, and kindness that you give to others. Option to keep your hands here, bring them down to your lap, whatever feels best. Let's take a nice big inhale in through the nose and exhale, sigh it out. And another inhale in and exhale, sigh it out. I hope each one of you has a lovely June. I can't believe it's June already. Crazy. And I will see you next time. Let's see. I'll show you the little wildlings. I heard one out here. This is Freya. And this is Hella. They're a year old. One day when they can be calm, maybe I'll let them stay. But till they're older, not yet. Happy June, y'all.